Guys, what's going on? Dr. Frank here, founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs. And in today's brief video, I want to address a common question or a common problem that people run into when they quit smoking weed, when they quit vaping, when they quit watching pornography. We had a Addiction Mindset alcoholic community member the other day comment on one of the videos and say, hey, look, I quit smoking weed, 4 weeks ago, or maybe it was even longer than that. And they said they still weren't feeling good. They were still feeling depressed. They weren't feeling good about things. And I want to talk about why that happens and some common solutions to that problem and make sure you guys have the right expectations set for when you overcome an addiction. Here at Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching, we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you find today's video valuable. So let's go over why this occurs. Being blunt, when you first quit an addiction, no matter what it is, let's say you're quitting smoking weed, you're going to have that initial drop in dopamine. Anytime you consume a substance, it's going to release serotonin, it's going to release dopamine, and your brain is going to become acclimated or used to getting that buzz, getting that high, getting those feel-good neurotransmitters from that drug. So when you stop consuming that drug, it's normal and it's expected that you're not going to feel good for a little bit. CJ Kidd said this once in one of his videos. I'd highly recommend his channel. It's very similar to having the flu. When you first quit a substance, expect to not feel good for the first week, for the first 2 weeks. Your body's detoxing, and just like the flu, you're going to get better. That's normal. But what about the person who's quit for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months, and they're still not feeling better? They're still struggling. I think there's one common mistake that this person made. And I made this mistake a million times when I tried quitting. They failed to start to put their energy, to put their focus into activities and things that's going to make them feel better, that's going to make them feel good. Remember, when you had an active addiction, you were taking your time and your energy and you were putting it into consuming a substance, into smoking weed, into vaping, into drinking alcohol. You were getting dopamine. You were getting feel-good neurotransmitters. They were brief, and in the long term, they made you feel like crap. That's why you're watching this video. But don't expect to quit an addiction and just feel good instantaneously. Recovering in sobriety from weed or nicotine or whatever the substance is, it takes work. Just like being addicted to a substance takes work, you have to be expecting that you have to put work into your recovery process. Now, what we often encourage people to do when they first quit is set up a list of goals or set up a list of small accomplishments that you want to achieve. And this might be as simple as improving your nutrition, improving your sleep quality, improving and deepening your relationships. Maybe it's something that's faith-based. Whatever it may be, you have to pick a hobby or an activity that you can focus on that's going to bring you joy, that's going to release dopamine. Now, some people watching this video are going to sit here and say, Dr. Frank, that sounds great, but I'm not good at anything. My entire life has been weed. And what I would tell you is this: you don't know what doors are going to open for you as you dive deeper and deeper into your sobriety and your recovery. You don't know the good things that lie ahead unless you try. So it's not unusual for someone to work with our offices and say, Dr. Frank, I'm not good at anything. The only thing I'm good at is drinking energy drinks, watching porn, and smoking weed. And my response to them is, yeah, I was the same way. I was really good at those things too. But I wouldn't have known anything else unless I quit. Once I quit, that's where I was forced to discover new hobbies, new things, new activities, new relationships that bring me joy. Because remember, when you first quit, imagine like a character in a video game. Those feel-good levels are going to be low. That bar, imagine a character, and the more you shoot the guy, or the girl, think about it, like their energy depletes or whatever it is, their lifespan depletes. You're depleted when you first quit an addiction. But the more little things you do, the more that little bar is going to start to turn green, and you're going to start to get that life back. You're going to start to get that energy back. And as you start to get that back, you're going to start to gravitate towards things that release dopamine, that make you feel good. So I want you guys to take a moment during this video, and I want you to start to brainstorm. What were things that used to make you feel good? What hobbies do you have? What relationships do you have that make you feel good? Is it faith-based? Is it financially based? What activities can you partake in? On a really, really basic level, I think some things that we should all get passionate about when we're quitting an addiction. Remember, quitting an addiction is about bettering ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you want to say. Start to focus on your sleep. Start to focus on exercise. Start to focus on your nutrition. Start to focus, if you're into faith, on faith-based things. Start to focus on your relationships. Start to keep an eye on your finances, watching them grow. Really, really basic lifestyle things that you've been neglecting most likely for months or years, just like I was. When you start to re-engage in these things, you're going to start to feel better. But don't just quit an addiction and expect all these good things to start happening to you. You have to go create it. You have to go find it. Just like you had to go find that drug. Just like you had to call your plug and get that delivery made. Just like you had to walk into the dispensary. You have to go put in the work to feeling better. You were putting in a lot of work to this addiction. You were putting in a lot of time and a lot of energy. I want you to use that same energy and that same momentum into your recovery process. And I promise, as those layers peel back, you're going to start to find there's some amazing things inside here, inside here. You're not going to believe what you accomplish. I've said this in other videos. I never thought we'd be here on YouTube, but deep down I kind of knew it. But I never would have known. I never would have made this video if I wasn't sober right now. I'd be high on my couch inside, getting ready to veg out on some unhealthy dinner and then watch Netflix for the next 12 hours. But instead, I'm sitting outside on my patio talking to you guys. It's really an amazing thing. Momentum. When you get momentum in your recovery and your sobriety, it's going to build, and you're going to have a snowball effect. Just like you can have the opposite momentum in addiction. The longer you stay addicted, the more effort you put into the addiction, the more downhill that snowball is going to go in a really bad direction. You want to change that direction to a uphill addiction with to an uphill direction with positive momentum. I hope this video helps. Perhaps it's a mistake that you guys have made, and let other people know in the comments what positive things are you going to work on to further your health mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be. What activities, what hobbies, what things are you passionate about, and what things are you going to become obsessed with going forward? You were obsessed with a drug, but I want to know, what's that next chapter of your life have for you in store? Where are you going to put your focus, your attention going forward? Let me know in the comments. I love reading it. I'll see you guys in the next video where I talk a little bit about how I manage cravings. I'll see you guys there.